this Kanye thing, man, and again, we know he searches for things, and to especially when he has music coming out and try to get his attention and things like that. And there's a big piece of me that really believes that that's the case for here. And he even has following tweets, even as recent as today or yesterday. It's like, oh, everybody's talking about the gay thing, but he said something about
pretty big thing.
like, but eyes are on Kanye where I want him, or something like, for lack of better terms. And there's a big piece of me that thinks that. But like, you can't drop something like this and think like, like, I don't fucking know, man. Listen, man, this caught me so off guard. I mean,
Really?
this caught me so, I think it caught so many people off guard, so they don't even know what to do with it, where to put it at, and where to go from here. Because he put it in a new song, and then he released a tweet about it. The song is awful, but the song is with him like he's like singing it, and I stuck my cousin's dog, and he's like singing it, trying to hit notes. So that was terrible. So it wasn't like a quick rap line, like you can kind of hide it, like Biggie would do that. And Biggie would do a quick line like, "Man, you so fine, I'll suck your daddy's," and like he'll sneak it in there from time to time. He had a bunch of different lines like that, like, but he sneak it in and people didn't really say much about it. It's like, oh, it's a rap lyric, But this,
he must really like you.
he must really.
He's gonna do all that.
I've yet to meet one that fine, man. But when you're making money like that, you see fine women like that, I guess.
Not on this planet.
And Kanye, man, Kanye's I'm comfortable to say it. You know what I mean? Giving his male cousin head until he was 14.
Now, is Kanye older than the cousin or younger than the cousin?
And see, he didn't give any context in the song or the tweet. But from what I took away, I'm gonna tell you something that you was right about too, and I was wrong about. Well, my takeaway from this particular, what you're asking is that the cousin was older.
Yeah.
And that's my takeaway. And he's saying that the cousin is still in prison even to this day.
Right.
And he feels like he had some type of weird part in that because of this situation.
Yeah.
And he's trying to draw parallels. And
man did something to go to prison so he could find a new dick sucker.
and he was talking about the magazines that his dad had, and they would both see him and look at him together. And then he went, but his mom's magazines were like way crazier. And then we talked about that on camera.
Yeah.
And you were like, damn, she, such a Christian lady, why would she have basically gay porn? And I'm like, I don't think that was it. Because I just think that he meant that they were that more explicit than his dad's.
Yeah. But
you were right. Kanye, that's the one thing he did. That's the one thing he did say.
I'm right.
Is that there was gay. It was gay porn.
Yeah.
Why would his mom have fucking gay porn?
She's freaky.
You know what I know? I know like women are like they will watch. They would watch that. Not just say that they're into it or watch it a lot, but like men, like heterosexual men or whatever. Hopefully I said the term correctly. But like we'll watch. Like if it comes on, like we immediately like turn it away or we're like, why are you watching this shit? But women will indulge even if that's not their thing, and they'll look it up. Like they'll indulge and sit and watch and finish the thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I do know that.
Even like, okay, so I like straight women, they like dick. And so like, if you have two guys blowing each other, they get to look at two dicks. Mm. Like it's not like a crazy necessarily turn off or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, to some people that are open like that.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
So I guess that's that thing.
So
and then for the most part, most women, like you said, just want to see penises or whatever. I guess
My old roommate Andrew, he had this story, and especially the way he tells story was so funny. So he lives in the Cayman Islands, and so when he was in like high school, whatever, there was all the TV at that time was like satellite based stuff, and so he was like, at one point, like they were like home, and they realized there was like a porn channel. on a satellite that they could access for free. And so for like, couple weeks, they'd come back at the end of the day and watch some porn on the satellite. And then he's like, one night I get back and I'm watching, and it's like this guy, he's fucking this girl. And then another guy walks in and he's like, cool, threesome. And then the guy started fucking the guy. He goes, we didn't go on that channel anymore.
No, we're not going on that channel anymore. Talking about a plot twist there.
Yeah, exactly. My favorite part there is like, cool, threesome.
Yeah.
And then it just goes so bad after
We're on to something there. But this Kanye thing, man, and I like, again, we know he searches for things and to especially when he has music coming out and try to get his attention and things like that. And there's a big piece of me that really believes that that's the case for here. And he even has following tweets, even as recent as today or yesterday. It's like, oh, everybody's talking about the gay thing, but he said something about
a pretty big thing.
like, but eyes are on Kanye where I want him, or something like, for lack of better terms. And there's a big piece of me that thinks that. But like, you can't drop something like this and think like, I don't fucking know, man.
I don't like.
This is tough, man. This is tough.
Nah, see, like,
and then
okay.
it's not. And then hold on before you go. And another thing is, when this first dropped, people are like, cause I was sending this to people, and then also I saw other chatter on Twitter.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, this happens in families, and and we gotta pray for Kanye and other black kids because people take advantage of our young kids. That's not this. Kanye initiated. He sucked his cousin thing because of the magazines. Like at the very least, it was they were together and together.
Was it ever reciprocated?
He didn't. No, he didn't say that.
Okay,
he didn't say that.
All right, my thing with Kanye is like literally since he went crazy, to me there's nothing that he can tweet or say that's gonna surprise me at this. I've been in that place for a while.
Yeah, but this is.
I think like
there.
nah, but like this, like he is like just a weirdly mentally disturbed, attention mongering mess. That's what he is. And he's been that for several years now.
Yeah.
And again, there's always, there's essentially a long history of, bizarre behavior preceding any sort of release of content or material. He's chosen to, publicly put his divorce and kids and everything he's doing into the, the public sphere on his own accord. And that seems to be his modus operandi. Now, in his mind, I mean, and I don't know where his mind, I don't think it's normal anymore. I literally think he's a disturbed individual. In his mind, maybe he feels that by doing this stuff publicly, it's almost like a public cleansing of whatever's going on in his life. And he may look at it this way, is that at some point I became a massive public figure. And I ceased to be whoever I used to be as just a person, wanting to have a life. And so that in some way, the public forum is, in celebrity is how he has to express everything he has, because that's where his life is in his convention of things. And I not every celebrity reacts that same way. Some are fiercely protective of kind of what they regard as private information and things of that nature, and they create a persona, and then they have all the private stuff. But Kanye has a long history at this point of taking what could be private stuff and throwing it right out there, with like he does his music and whatever else he's doing. So he's just that's how he's kind of taken to life. And I guess today the wife or whatever was like, I'm shocked or whatever, and so something should be private. It's like, well, have you not been paying attention for the last 5 years? This is the dude you married.
Because especially when it comes to you, nothing has been private.
I cannot stand the hypocrisy of that.
Yeah.
You're going to get in a relationship with this guy, and marry him, and then you're gonna be like, well, hey, we need to keep something private. No, that's not who you married.
Yeah.
He's been showing the world who he is for at least the last 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
And you marry that? Like, this ain't somebody you married 20 years ago. Like, you chose to be in this. And now you're going to act, well, we should keep something private. No, you're a fool. Yeah. But I just think he's a disturbed guy. He does not entertain me anymore. I literally just don't care. I mean, we've got the best of him in terms of music that we're going to get, and it was really great stuff, and it'll be there after he's dead.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thing on it.
I think that's where we're at. I think we got the best of Kanye. And, hey, appreciate the run. From here, I don't know where he can go from here. As far as like something he can say that will like this is the bomb, and I wonder in his brain what he thought this would do, because it didn't blow like if this was 5 to 10 years ago, if this was in a time where what I'm trying to say, the LGBTQ movement, if it was in an earlier time where we still shunned and clowned and made fun of gays and things like that, this type of comment would have hit way harder and would have, I think, reached farther and stayed trending longer. Do you agree? Or do you know what I'm trying to say here?
I agree to a degree, but I think, like, again, part of the non-reaction is how far he's already pushed himself in this space of just being off the wall.
Yeah.
And then there is another thing, like, if you go back like in the past, before before celebrities had direct access to say these things. Mm-hmm. Now, there could have become, like, let's go 20 years back. There could have been a story that Kanye was involved in some, underage sexual things with a family member, maybe against his will, maybe not, whatever. And then what would happen is, those stories would run, people would get all worked up about it. And then at some point he would sit down with some sort of like credible journalist and like basically give his side in like kind of like a canned interview, and he would say, my childhood was tough and this is what happened and whatever, and give you this story, and then we'd kind of understand it and whatever, accept him and move on. But we don't do that anymore. Like, you have direct access to your Twitter. You're telling us from the sources about this is what you did. If you want to explain it further, you're just going to add a few more tweets to the string. You're not going to like sit down with I don't even know who that person is, like Charlemagne or Sway or whoever, fucking Barbara Walters if she's still alive. Like, Mike Tyson did that.
Oh, what's the lady who interviewed R. Kelly before he went to prison?
Gayle King. Yeah, like you're not going to sit down there and like, kind of explain this away. Like, these are your words. They're the words you chose to use. And even if you try to, like, you're stuck with your own words. Like, you can't, like, there's no... This came from your feed. Like, there's no way, like, okay, well, what I really meant to say was.
No, man.
You sat there and you typed out these words.
This is it, man. Yes.
Nobody's, like, running with a little side story that you're whatever.
No.
It's just, he's in just a terrible place, and it just is what it is, man.
That's tough. And I don't know. 14 is pretty old.
No, but dude, it was going on for years.
No, it was going on for years.
That's
what. But my point to that is, I don't think you could suck penis for that long and up to that ripe old age of 14 and never do it again.
Oh, I didn't know that's where you're going.
Yeah, that's where I was going. I don't buy that if that's accurate.
There he is with the maestro right there.
I mean,
maybe he moved on to ass eating. Maybe he was just turned off by pubes, though.
I guess
it was good.
That's possible.
It was good blowing until the pube got in the way.
Manscaping is so like
I guess, but man's got his preferences.